Clinton Lewis stood across the street, his hands in his pockets, staring at the 3-bedroom house like it was a trophy. Gray bricks, white trim, black modern door, fresh grass that the landscaper had just laid last week. Sunlight bounced off the big front window, and for a moment he could see his own reflection. Tired eyes, faded hoodie, but a proud smile. That house was his sweat, his overtime, his skipped lunches, his canceled vacations. He pulled out his phone and snapped a picture. "Yeah," he whispered to himself. "We really did it." Behind him, cars moved along the quiet Atlanta suburb street, and kids played basketball down the block. Clinton didn't move. He just kept looking at the house. 5 years ago, he had been sleeping on a friend's couch, broke, working security shifts at night and construction during the day. Nobody believed he would amount to much. Now he had a house with his name on the papers. Well, his and his wife's. His phone buzzed. It was a text from her. "Vanessa Redhart, you still outside staring at that house?" "Clinton, maybe." "Vanessa Redhart, come inside. Your food is getting cold." He smiled, slipped the phone back into his pocket, crossed the street, and walked up the driveway. As soon as he opened the door, the smell of fried chicken, mac and cheese, and cornbread wrapped around him like a warm hug. "Baby, you trying to fatten me up?" he called out, locking the door behind him. Vanessa's voice floated from the kitchen. "Nobody forced you to marry a woman that can cook." Clinton laughed and headed to the kitchen. Vanessa stood by the stove, bonnet on her head, oversized t-shirt hanging over her shorts, moving like she owned the place. She was light-skinned, with sharp cheekbones, lashes too long to be real, and nails that always had some new design. She turned, saw him, and opened her arms. "Come here, homeowner." He hugged her from behind, resting his chin on her shoulder. "Say it again." "Homeowner," she repeated, softening. "You did it, Clint. I'm proud of you." "We did it," he corrected. "You held it down when I was broke. You stayed when I was taking buses to work. Don't act like you forgot." Vanessa smiled, but her eyes flickered away for a second. "Yeah, I remember," she said quietly. "You hungry or what?" He didn't think too much about it. She had been a bit distant for the past few weeks, but he assumed it was just stress. New house, bills, her hair business still trying to pick up. They sat at the small dining table near the kitchen. Clinton bowed his head. "Let's pray real quick," he said. Vanessa rolled her eyes playfully. "You and this prayer." "We didn't come this far by vibes," he replied. "Close your eyes, woman." She did, and Clinton prayed a short, simple prayer. "God, thank you for this home, for life, for my wife. Protect us, provide for us, and let peace live in this house. Amen." "Amen," she echoed, picking up her fork. They started eating. "So what's the plan?" Vanessa asked between bites. "Plan for what?" "For the house, Clint." "You talking about renting one of the rooms out? Airbnb? You know how folks are making money out here." Clinton wiped his mouth. "Not yet. I just want to enjoy it first. No strangers in my space for now." Vanessa shrugged. "Money is money. This mortgage won't pay itself." "We're okay," Clinton replied. "I ran the numbers. With my job and what you make from your hair clients, we're good." Her jaw tightened slightly. "My clients are not steady, you know that. They'll grow. Give it time," he said. She stared at him for a moment. "I don't like, give it time, Clinton. You've been saying that for years." He frowned. "What does that mean?" "Nothing," she replied quickly, forcing a smile. "Forget it. The chicken nice, ABI." Clinton looked at her, confused. Another small crack. He felt it, but he brushed it aside. "Yeah, it's good," he said slowly. "Best I've had in my own house." After dinner, he sat in the living room, scrolling through TikTok, watching real estate videos. Men talking about leverage, refinancing, using property as an asset. Clinton didn't understand everything, but he was hungry to learn. Vanessa came and dropped beside him on the couch. "These real estate guys make it sound so easy," she said, glancing at his screen. "I mean, technically, we can build from this," he replied. "Maybe later, we get another property. Rent it out. Build a portfolio." "We?" she repeated. Clinton laughed. "Yes, we. What's wrong with you tonight?" She looked at him quietly, her eyes searching his face like she was trying to decide something. "Clint," she said slowly. Just asking, if there was a way to get a big money at once from this house, would you take it?" He frowned. "What do you mean?" "Like a loan." "Not loan," she answered. "I'm just saying, if somebody came and offered you a lot of money, would you sell?" "Sell what?" "This house." He stared at her like she'd grown two heads. "Vanessa, I just got this place. Why would I sell it?" "Maybe to start something bigger," she replied. "Business. Better life. Move somewhere nicer. Like in the city, not this far end." He shook his head. "Nah. This house is my foundation. I didn't break my back just to flip it and start renting again." "But what if renting is temporary?" she insisted. "What if we could go higher?" "We will go higher," he said firmly. "From here. Step by step. This house is not for sale." Vanessa went quiet. Her jaw worked slowly, like she wanted to argue but chose not to. "Okay," she said finally, standing up. "I'm going to shower." Clinton watched her walk away. Something in his chest felt unsettled. He turned the volume up on the TV, trying to drown out the strange feeling. In the hallway, the bedroom door closed with a soft click. He had no idea that this same house he loved so much, the house he called his foundation, would soon become the very thing that shattered his life. 2 weeks later, Clinton woke up to the sound of his alarm at 5:15 a.m. His body felt heavy, but he pushed himself up. He worked early shift at a logistics company, loading trucks, monitoring inventory, sometimes driving. The pay wasn't crazy, but with overtime, it was decent. He rolled over to Vanessa's side of the bed. Empty. He frowned and checked the time again. "Vanessa," he called out. No response. He got up and walked to the bathroom. The light was off. Kitchen. Dark. Living room. Empty too. He rubbed his eyes and grabbed his phone. No missed call. No text. "What the?" he muttered. Just as he was about to call her, the front door unlocked. Vanessa stepped inside, wearing leggings, a big hoodie, and slides. Her lashes were intact, edges laid, nails freshly done. She froze when she saw him standing in the hallway. "Oh," she said. "You're awake." Clinton squinted at her. "Where you coming from by 5 a.m.? "I went to do hair for a client," she replied quickly, pulling off her hoodie. "She works night shift. She only had time in the early morning." "At 3 a.m.? he asked. "Because I woke up around 2:40 and you were not here." Vanessa dropped her bag on the couch. "Clint, I told you yesterday I had a client, Tasha. She needed a quick wig install before work." "Don't start." He tried to remember. Maybe she mentioned it and he forgot. He'd been tired lately. "You couldn't text me?" he asked softly. "Just, hey, I'm going out, don't worry?" "Something." She sighed. "I didn't want to wake you. And your phone be on loud. If I message you, it's going to ding, and you'll wake up. You need sleep. You always complain you tired." "That's not an answer, Vanessa," he replied calmly. "You going out by 3 a.m. in Atlanta. Anything could happen." "I'm fine," she said sharply. "Can you relax? Why you acting like my father?" He stared at her. "I'm acting like your husband. There's a difference." They held each other's gaze for a few seconds. Then Vanessa's shoulders dropped a little. She walked closer and touched his chest. "Look, Clint, I appreciate your concern. But I'm trying to build my brand too, okay? Some clients don't have regular schedules. If I say no, they'll go somewhere else. I'm just trying to help us. He exhaled. A simple text would have helped us too. Okay, she murmured. Next time I'll text. Happy. He didn't fully believe her, but he forced himself to nod. Yeah, just be safe. She smiled faintly and kissed him. Now, go to work before you're late. Your boss doesn't care you married a fine woman. He chuckled weakly. You and this you're fine. He headed to the bathroom to get ready. As the water ran, Vanessa picked up his phone from the nightstand and stared at it for a moment. Clinton had no idea. By the time he came out, she was already in bed pretending to be scrolling through Instagram. Text me when you get there, she said. See? He teased. Communication. It's not hard. She forced a smile, but when the door shut behind him, her face changed. The softness disappeared. She reached for her own phone and opened a hidden folder. Derek. So he still doesn't know? Vanessa. No. He thinks I was doing hair. Derek. This man has no idea how blessed he is to have you lying this good. Vanessa. Stop. Derek. I'm serious. Once we finalize, you're done with that house, right? Vanessa. We need to discuss it well. He's attached to the place. Derek. Attachment doesn't pay bills. That house is money sitting down. Vanessa. I know. She closed her eyes, chewing her lip. God, she whispered. Please, don't let this backfire. Later that afternoon, Clinton sat in the break room at work, scrolling through his phone, when his coworker, Jamal, sat across from him. Bro, you look tired, Jamal said, biting into a sandwich. You good? Clinton shrugged. Just life, man. New house. New bills. Trying to make sure nothing falls apart. That's normal, Jamal replied. But you should be happy. You winning right now. Clinton smiled faintly. Yeah. Just small things bothering me. Like what? He hesitated. You ever feel like your girl is, I don't know, different? But you can't explain it. Jamal wiped his hands and leaned back. Different how? She's been distant, snappy, disappearing odd times, asking too many questions about the house. Like, what if we sell? What if we flip it? Stuff like that. Jamal raised an eyebrow. Sell? Already? Didn't y'all just move in like, what, a month ago? 3 weeks, Clinton corrected. But yeah. And she already wants to sell? Jamal frowned. You sure she's not just dreaming big? Maybe, Clinton said. She keeps saying we can get something better. But bro, you know where I came from. This house is not just a building to me. It's proof. Jamal nodded slowly. Listen, I'm not trying to stir anything, but keep your eyes open, okay? Sometimes, when people get stability, that's when their real self come out. You feel me. I don't want to be paranoid, Clinton murmured. She stuck with me when I was broke, Jamal. When I had nothing. People can love you and still love money more, Jamal said gently. Just be wise. Clinton forced a laugh. You sound like my pastor. Then maybe you should listen, Jamal replied. That evening, Clinton got home around 6:30 p.m. The house was quiet. Vanessa, he called. No response. He checked the kitchen, bedroom, bathroom, nothing. Her wig stand was empty. The big red wig she loved was gone. He called her phone. It rang twice, then ended. He tried again. Straight to voicemail. His chest tightened. Nah, not again. He paced the living room. 30 minutes later, she finally walked in, carrying a shopping bag. Hey, she said casually, dropping her keys. Why you standing like someone stole your joy? Because my wife goes out again without saying anything, he snapped. Where were you? She blinked, surprised at his tone. Clint, relax. I went to the beauty supply store and then stopped at my cousin's house. Is it that deep? Texting me is not that hard, Vanessa. She sucked her teeth. So now I have to report every move? Am I on parole? No, he replied, voice trembling. You're in a marriage. She stared at him, lips pressed together, then slowly dropped her bag on the table. You know what? She said quietly. Maybe you shouldn't have married someone as ambitious as me. Maybe you wanted a housewife that sits and waits. That's not fair and you know it, he replied. All I'm asking is communication. That's it. These days you always gone, always busy, always secretive. I'm building something, Clinton, she shouted. You want me to grow or not? I want you to grow with me, he replied. Not grow away from me. For a second, silence sat between them like a wall. Her eyes softened just a little. You don't trust me? He swallowed. I want to. But you're making it hard. She walked up to him, stared into his eyes, and wrapped her arms around his waist. I'm sorry, she whispered. Things have just been overwhelming. Let's not fight, please. He hesitated, then hugged her back. Okay. No more secrets. Deal. Deal, she lied. But later that night, while Clinton slept beside her, his breathing slow and peaceful, Vanessa lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sound of his faith and her fear battling in the dark. On her phone, a new message lit up. Derek, I spoke to the buyer. He's ready. All we need is your signature. Vanessa's hand trembled slightly as she typed back. Vanessa. Okay. Let's plan it well. He believes the house is in my name too, right? Derek. Joint names. But we can work around that. Trust me. She looked over at Clinton, snoring lightly, his hand resting near her pillow. I'm sorry, she whispered to the quiet room. But the house, the one he called his foundation, was already sitting in somebody else's conversation as an opportunity. For the next 2 weeks, Vanessa became a different person. Clinton noticed it all. Late-night outings. Random phone calls she would walk outside to answer. Sudden new clothes. Nails always fresh. Wigs always new. And every time he asked, she had a new story. New client. New cousin. New salon emergency. But what bothered him most wasn't the stories. It was the fear in her eyes any time he asked a simple question, like she was scared he might catch something. One Saturday morning, while Clinton was mowing the lawn, his neighbor, Mrs. Green, a nosy but kind old lady, walked over with her arms folded. Baby, she said in her raspy voice, you look stressed. Clinton wiped sweat from his forehead. Just life, ma'am. She raised an eyebrow. Your wife been gone a lot lately. He froze. You noticed. I don't try to notice, she said frankly. But I see what I see. And yesterday night she left around 11 p.m., came back around 2. I was up watching my shows. Clinton's chest tightened. Are you sure? She nodded slowly. Baby, I don't talk on what I don't know. Keep your head up. That night, Clinton waited. Sat on the couch. Lights off. Phone in hand. 2:17 a.m. He heard the key turning quietly. Vanessa entered softly, tiptoeing. As soon as she saw Clinton sitting in the dark, she froze. Where you coming from? He asked. She swallowed. Clint, don't do this tonight. No, he said firmly, standing. Answer me. She looked away, her breathing quickening. I was with Tasha. At 2 a.m. again, he asked. Vanessa, enough with the lies. What's going on? She dropped her purse on the couch. I'm tired, Clinton. Tired of being questioned every second. Because you keep disappearing, he yelled. Talk to me. I'm doing everything for us, she shouted back. You think I want to stay small forever? You think I want to struggle all my life? Clinton stared at her. How does sneaking out at midnight help us? She went silent. And that silence broke him more than any lie she could have said. "Baby," he whispered. "Please. What's going on?" Her eyes glistened. But she didn't speak. Instead, she grabbed her purse and walked into the bedroom. Clinton stood in the hallway, feeling the ground shift under him, feeling like something big was moving behind his back, and he had no idea how close it was. 2 days later, Clinton was at work when Jamal rushed to him during break. "Bro, come outside," he said urgently. Clinton followed him to the parking lot. Jamal pointed behind a delivery truck. A black Dodge Charger sat idling there. Inside was a man Clinton had never seen. Muscular, tattoos up his arms, wearing shades even though it was cloudy. "You know him?" Clinton asked. Jamal shook his head. "I don't. But he's been sitting there for like 20 minutes. He's staring at you." Clinton frowned. Maybe wrong person. But as soon as he said that, the man in the Charger rolled down the window slightly, smirked, then drove off slowly. Jamal looked at him. "You beefing someone?" "No," Clinton said. "At least, I don't think so." Later that night, Vanessa was in the shower. Her phone buzzed. Clinton glanced at it. Derek calling. His heart dropped. He picked it up. The call ended instantly. A text popped up. "Derek, we need to finish this now. The buyer is impatient." "Finish what? Finish what?" Clinton felt his heart pounding in his ears. The bathroom doors opened. Vanessa walked out in a towel and snatched the phone instantly. "What are you doing with my phone?" she demanded. Clinton stepped back. "Who is Derek?" She froze. The towel almost slipped from her fingers. It's not. Answer the question." Clinton shouted. "He's a business partner," she said weakly. "Business partner in what?" Clinton demanded. "Hair styling? Midnight trips? Hidden phone calls?" "Clint, I can explain." "Then explain." But instead of speaking, she broke down crying. And Clinton knew immediately. This wasn't about cheating. This was about something bigger. Something involving him. Something involving the house. The next morning, Clinton didn't go to work. He sat at the dining table. Vanessa sat across from him, eyes swollen. "I need the truth," he said quietly. "No shouting. No excuses. The truth." She wiped her tears. "I met Derek at an investment seminar," she began. "He said he helps people turn property into better wealth. He convinced me that our house was worth more than we knew, that we could sell it fast and get cash up front. Use that money to start a salon, move to a better area, invest." Clinton stared at her in disbelief. "And you believed him? Without telling me? You weren't dreaming big enough," she cried. "I was tired of struggling. Tired of waiting for your overtime checks. Tired of small life." "So you plan to sell our house behind my back?" he asked, voice trembling. "I thought I could handle it," she whispered. "Just sign paperwork and surprise you with the money later." "Surprise me?" Clinton shook his head, shocked. "Surprise me by selling the only thing I ever built in my life?" She started crying again. "I didn't know he was dangerous. I didn't know he was serious like that. I thought he was just talking." Clinton's voice cracked. "Is the house sold already?" She looked down. That silence told him everything. "Vanessa," he whispered, "tell me they didn't buy my house." She whispered it, barely audible. "They did." Clinton felt himself fall back into the chair. He grabbed his head with both hands. "Where is the money?" he whispered. Vanessa didn't answer. "Where is the money?" he yelled. "Derek has it," she whispered. "He said he'll release it soon." "He what?" "And he wants me to leave you," she added quietly. Clinton stared at her like she was speaking a foreign language. "What?" "He wants me," she said, tears dropping. "He said, if I want the money, I need to be with him." Clinton stood up slowly, chest shaking. "You destroyed everything," he whispered. "Everything I ever worked for." That evening, Clinton came home from clearing his head at the park. The house was quiet. Too quiet. "Vanessa," he called softly. No answer. Bedroom, empty. Bathroom, empty. Closet, half the clothes gone. Her wigs gone. Her shoes gone. Her makeup bags gone. A note sat on the bed. Clinton picked it up with trembling hands. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Please don't look for me. Derek said he'll handle things. Forgive me if you can. Vanessa." Clinton sank to his knees. He didn't scream. He didn't cry. He simply stared at the floor as the truth washed over him. His wife sold their house, took nothing with her except her beauty bags, and ran away with a man he had never met. 3 days later, Clinton was served papers. He opened the envelope. His name wasn't on the property anymore. Derek's name was. Somehow, they had gotten his signature. Forgery. Fraud. Every nightmare possible. He rushed to the police station. "I want to file a report," he said angrily. The officer looked bored. "Against who?" "My wife, and a man named Derek. They sold my house illegally." "Do you have proof?" "Yes." "Do you have the original documents?" "Yes." "Any witnesses?" "No." The officer shrugged. "This might take a long process, sir." Clinton slammed his hand on the counter. "This is everything I own, man. Everything." The officer sighed. "Calm down. Start by filing a complaint. After that, it goes to investigation." Clinton filled the forms, hands shaking, heart bleeding. That night, he slept in the empty living room, surrounded by boxes, silent walls. A house that used to smell like laughter and fried chicken now smelled like betrayal. At 1 a.m., there was a knock on the door. Clinton opened it slightly. Derek stood there, smiling. 2 men behind him. "You need to leave, big man," Derek said casually. "This place is mine now." Clinton clenched his fists. "You scammed my wife." "Your wife came to me," Derek corrected. "I didn't go to her." Clinton's voice dropped. "Where is she?" Derek smiled wider. "Far. And she's not coming back." Clinton's heart broke again. "You got 48 hours, Derek said. "After that, things get ugly." He walked away. Clinton locked the door with shaking hands. "You got 48 hours, Derek said. "After that, things get ugly." He walked away. Clinton locked the door with shaking hands. This was no longer about love. This was war. 2 days later, Clinton was forced out. The sheriff arrived with legal documents, fraudulent, but still legal-looking. He packed his clothes into garbage bags, sat on the sidewalk, and watched Derek's men enter the house he worked his whole life to build. Jamal came rushing in his car. "Bro, what happened?" he asked, jumping out. Clinton could barely speak. "She sold it. They forged my signature. He threatened me. I lost everything." Jamal sat beside him on the curb. "Bro, I'm so sorry," Clinton whispered, voice cracking. "I built that house with my hands. Every brick. Every overtime. I gave her everything. And she destroyed it," Jamal whispered. Clinton covered his face and broke into tears. For the first time in years. 2 weeks later, Clinton moved into a small rented room. Tiny. Faded walls. A stained ceiling. Nothing like his beautiful home. But something inside him hardened. He went to a lawyer. Then another. Then another. Finally, he found one willing to help. A tough middle-aged black attorney named Camille Johnson. "You were set up," she said firmly. "And we're going after them, criminally and civilly." Clinton nodded faintly. "I just want my life back." "No," she corrected. We'll build you a better one. After months of investigations, statements, and economic tracing, Camille uncovered everything. Derek was a scammer with 3 different fake investment companies. Vanessa had signed multiple fraudulent documents. Money from the house sale went to Derek's offshore account. Vanessa received only $7,000 out of the sale. Derek disappeared with the rest. A warrant was issued. Vanessa was arrested first. Derek was caught a week later in Miami trying to flee. Clinton attended every hearing. Face cold. Heart silent. Vanessa tried to look at him once. He turned away. 1 year later, Clinton won the civil case. The house was returned to his name. Derek got 14 years in prison. Vanessa got 3 years for conspiracy and forgery. Clinton stood in front of the empty house again. Grass overgrown. Paint chipped. Door broken. Windows cracked. Everything destroyed. He walked inside slowly. Touched the wall. Took a deep breath. "This time," he whispered, "I build smarter." It took Clinton 8 months to renovate the house. He worked double shifts. Saved every dime. Friends helped. Neighbors helped. Even Mrs. Green brought him food every weekend. "You rising again, baby," she told him. And she was right. When the house was finally done, Clinton stood outside again, same as the first day. Gray bricks. White trim. Black door. Everything fresh. But he was different now. Stronger. Wiser. Harder. Jamal stood beside him. "You gonna sell it this time?" he joked. Clinton laughed. "Over my dead body." They walked inside. Clean floors. New paint. Furniture still fresh. Peace. Real, deep peace. Clinton grabbed a marker and wrote something behind the kitchen cabinet, where no one would see it except him. "Never again." Then he wrote another line beneath it. "God carried me." As he stood there, sunlight pouring through the window, a slow smile formed on his face. He didn't have a wife anymore. He didn't have the innocence he once had. But he had something far better. A second chance. And a home that no one could ever take from him again.